I want to talk a little bit about simplicity and the importance of that in spiritual growth. We want to connect with our inner compass, and once we have guidance in what our purpose is in life and what we're passionate about, how do we go about moving along that path? And what ends up happening is the path might be clear, but there's all kinds of debris, clutter, and things, roadblocks in the way. And most of those roadblocks is due to being consumed by the material world. And my belief is that the material world is only here, or its only purpose is really to foster the spirit. In other words, it's supposed to give us enough food, shelter, clothing, water, a degree of comfort, and things like that. And other tools for artistic creativity and to help each other, hospitals and things like that. But what we've done is, so the spirit, our spiritual growth in our spirit, there we go, is what is important in life and what our energy should be focused upon. And then the physical world is down here. And the physical world and the material things becomes a foundation in which we can spiritually blossom and grow. What ends up happening if this is the spiritual, that what is supposed to be most important, and this is the material world, we have reversed them in Western culture especially and made the material world essentially our God, or what we worship. And we worship the homes, the cars, the clothing, and the list can go on and on, electronic products. And that ends up consuming what resources we were supposed to devote inward. And what helps free, kind of like open the dam or the floodgates to spiritual growth, is when you're on that path, clearing out all the clutter and all the debris and all the distractions that get in the way. And one of the first places to start is in your personal surroundings and see, okay, how can I simplify? Simplicity is such a beautiful thing, because I believe that material possessions and material objects, the more we have, the more it kind of sucks away and depletes our spiritual energy. And many of you have had the experience of going into a room that's cluttered, that has a lot of different things, on the walls, things on the shelves, things on the floor, things in the cupboards, and you feel a sense of depletion. That's why Zen meditation rooms, it's very simple. And so what we want to do is start cleaning up and clearing out all the clutter and debris that stands in the way in our path. And a good principle to apply in achieving that is the 80-20 principle. And what the 80-20 principle says is that 20% of your possessions you use 80% of the time. 80% of your possessions you use only 20% of the time. So what really is successful in simplicity is finding what that 20% is that gives you joy, that is useful to you. For example, my computer that I use all the time, that's one of the 20%, probably in the top 1 or 2%. And so that would be a possession I would keep. But then below that, there's all these other things that I'm constantly focusing on and saying, is this something I really need and can live without? And the beautiful thing is it has a ripple effect. When you start living a simple life, you have freed up so much energy to devote towards family, to devote towards other people, to devote towards spiritual growth, artistic growth, spending time in nature, whatever brings you that joy and inner peace. But what is so prevalent in Western culture is people we're running around frantic, we're busy, we're distracted, and we got a million things kind of bombarding our minds and spirit, and so we can't hear our inner compass. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, inner compass, refer to one of my other videos called Inner Compass. So and I think the best place is to start simple. And I say start with 3 things. Every day, pick 3 things that you can do without, and either give them away or throw them away. But the best thing is to give them away. Or another effective thing to do is sell them on eBay, and just start purging. And you'll start to notice that as you purge, your energy feels lighter. And also, you don't have to work so hard to pay for all these things, because every material possession requires energy to use, to repair, to store, to look at. All these things, again, are depleting our life energy. And then to work for, essentially, is why we have to work. We become a culture of enslaved, because we're so indebted to all the possessions that we have accumulated that won't fit with us in our grave. And so that's a liberating thing. And so just getting the cream, just taking off the cream and finding out what is essential to your needs. And then be aware for hidden clutter, because hidden clutter can be stuff that you have in your closet, stuff you have in your garage. And every day, it could be something as simple as 5-10 minutes spending simplifying. Every day, try to devote some small part of time towards the simplification. And again, this has a ripple effect. Once you start simplifying your immediate physical world, your surroundings, you simplify your car, the things in your car, so it's nice, neat, and tidy in your room, your closets, your house, bathroom, all those things. It's contagious, because then it starts spilling out to other areas. Then you start the food you eat. I don't need to eat such complicated foods that weigh down my body. You want to eat lighter, you eat healthier foods. And then it transfers over to communication. And you say, I want to simplify my communication. I don't want to gossip so much or say needless things just to chit-chat, to fill space or time, or to constantly talk about myself. And all these things is like someone came, when there's a snowstorm, and there's I forgot the name of it, but the machine, the snowblower, the machine, the driver that goes in front of the traffic and clears the path. And so that's what is happening when we simplify. Our path is being cleared, and now we can focus on what's really important, and it propels us towards our life's mission. Simplicity. It is the most beautiful thing, and once you experience it, I'd love to hear and share your how it transforms your life. And it's something that's so easy to do, and it has such a wide, all-encompassing effect. And again, start simple. 3 things a day. Get rid of. Another benefit about it, probably the biggest benefit, and another motivation for me, is the environmental impact that you have by living a simple life. It's amazing how little we need as humans in order to survive. We need a roof over our head, some food in our stomach, some clothing, water, and everything else is gravy. But we make the gravy so excessive that we end up drowning in the gravy. But we're also destroying the planet. And people think, it's the corporations that are destroying the planet, and they're bad, and the government and this. Well, it starts with the individual and the day-to-day choices that we make. Something as simple as not using plastic bags and things like that. But that'll be a discussion for another time. The beautiful thing is like it creates this good karma, this good feeling, knowing that you're not having a negative impact on the environment by living a simple life. And it benefits you so much because it is freeing and liberating. It's like taking a weight off your chest. Okay. Thanks for listening. Bye.